Hey everyone. All right, so today's going to be another Red Day recap. This has been the worst week, in fact, I think of my entire trading career. And I suppose that's relative to the fact that I've never, had more profits than I had up until just before this week. That's kind of how it always is, because you're constantly growing. And so, when you finally get that pullback, it's like, well, it's at the top of this really long run. So, of course, that pullback could end up being the worst pullback you've ever had. And it's kind of like if you ever put money into your 401k or something like that, it's growing. And then, like in December, when the market drops 10%, the drop in that 401k is probably the biggest drop it's ever had because, of course, right up until that point, it had the most money it had ever had. And, that's kind of like for me, having grown this small account and gotten myself so close to this $1 million, finish line. I've never had an account really bigger than what I have right now in terms of, historical profits and even buying power. Both of my accounts, I have got 3 active accounts right now and they're all pretty big. So, I think that this sometimes lends itself to being, getting a little bit more fixated on the size of the loss rather than keeping it in perspective. So it's another red day, down 16 grand. It's disappointing for sure. That's obviously another pretty bad week. Lost 28,000 last Wednesday, a week ago today. Down 16 grand today, lost about 6 grand on Monday. So, this is like almost a $50,000 drawdown on my account. 50,000. I'm not sure exactly where it's at. I gotta, look at all my numbers and stuff. But, I made money on Thursday and Friday, which was good. But, it was basically like lost on Wednesday, made a little bit on Thursday, Friday, and then gave back what I made on those 2 days on Monday. And then today just went one leg lower. Frustration, for sure. I'm kind of in uncharted territory here, having, never had really this big of a loss in such a short period of time. Certainly I've had big losses, and my worst day ever was a $30,000 red day. And it took definitely a couple months for me to bounce back from that. It didn't happen overnight. Now, I'm at a place where in a really good week of trading, I might make $50,000 or $75,000. So, these numbers are like, yeah, obviously it's not fun to lose 50 grand in a week. Of course, I know at the same time, a really good week, I can make that much. And, I'll tell you that making that much doesn't feel as good as losing this much feels bad. Like in terms of emotional extremes, the up of making 50,000 is here. The down of losing 50,000 is like way down here. But that's just part of the deal of being a trader. So, the moral of the story is that I'm back in boot camp. I'm in trader boot camp right now. It's going to start tomorrow. Tight restrictions on my account just until I can clear the slate. I thought I was clear, but I think the loss from last week isn't out of my system yet, and I need to spend some time trading with small size. So that's how I'm going to finish up the month of March, and that's how I'm going to start the month of April. And, we'll see where I'm at the end of next week. But I need a period of time just to clear the slate, kind of put that loss behind me, get a better read on the market. I've been sort of aggressive at the wrong times. I've hesitated at the wrong times. So I'm kind of like just a little bit out of sync. And, then once I've got a period of sort of resetting, maybe mid-April, I'll start to feel a little bit better. Maybe the market will be strong and things will start to open up again. But if I keep doing what I'm doing, it's not going to work. Because what I've done the last week hasn't been successful. So I need to step back. I need to adjust the strategy, slow down, stop trying to focus on hitting home runs. I know I tell myself not to. And then, of course, today I was trying to hit a home run again. So, I need to really, really pull it back. And the only way to do that is to bring the share size down and put myself in boot camp, force it to happen. And it's a punishment. It really is a punishment, but it's designed as a cure. It's designed to help get myself out of the rut. And it's what I've always done in the past when I've had a really bad month. Pretty much any time I've had a red month, I put myself in a boot camp the next month. So I'm going to be red here in March. No way around it. Down about $25,000 on the month, making it my worst month in more than 5 years. But, it's okay. I'll bounce back from it. I always do. And it'll start with boot camp tomorrow morning, 9:15. All right, so I'll see you guys in the morning for pre-market analysis. We'll start trading as soon as the bell rings. Small size for me, maybe make a couple $100 if I'm lucky, if we have some good markets. And then I'll shut it down, back at it Friday morning. All right, I'll see you guys in the morning. All right, so we're going to do our midday market recap here, go over the trades from this morning. Today's a day where we had kind of, again, an interesting gap scan. I'm going to go here, time frame, historical, 9:25 a.m. Leading gapper this morning, RBZ. All right, so this stock was up 87% by the time the bell was about to ring. But as you can see, the bell rang and it dropped from 16. I mean, it popped up for a second to 18, and then it dropped really hard all the way down to about $12. So it dropped about $6 per share, which was a really kind of nasty drop. And of course, this morning we had, we knew that Hunt was halted on a T12. Yeah, I'll pop up screen share for you guys. Hang on one second. So we knew that Hunt was halted on a T12, halted pending providing more information to the exchange. So this one was certainly not going to be on watch. We knew that DCAR had done a secondary offering in the morning, so that one was not on watch. And CTRM squeezed up all the way to $21 this morning, but then by the time the bell was ringing was down here at like $14. I did take a trade on this one right in here and made about $2,000 on it, but that overall it's weak. So what you'll notice here is that our gap scanners today, for the most part, the stocks on it failed. RBZ fail, SXTC mega fail. I mean, this is like a really nasty fail. This one just went to 9 and then straight down to $7 and then down to 6. This one is, almost going to be red versus yesterday's close. So that's SXTS, CTRM, red, GLBS. This one I wasn't watching too closely, but it's red. SHIP, this one I traded, and look at this rejection from $7.50 all the way back down to $5. So, what I was really hoping we would have today was continuation of yesterday's momentum, and we didn't get that. So my watch list this morning was SXTC, RBZ, CTRM, and I had GLBS and SHIP on watch as maybe trades, but I wasn't really sure about them. First trade out of the gates was on SXTS, so let me pull up this trade. I'm going to be down $16,000 today. Which makes it my third red day in the last week, which is disappointing. And the bulk of it is getting slammed on SXTS or SXTC. This one I got into out of the gates for a gap and go trade, break at the pre-market highs. And, you can see what happened. This just dropped $1 per share. 9,000 shares down, about $1.20 per share. So, got in around $8.50, stopped out around, $7.50, and it just dropped so fast. I mean, this is just really difficult stuff to trade. And, on this one, I jumped in it, and it did pop up here to a high of 924. And I was like, okay, I got in this first candle. I was like, all right, I'm up like 50 cents per share, 70 cents per share. And I think that, unfortunately, I've been really struggling with the mindset of trying to have home runs, trying to hit really big trades. Really disappointed that I didn't have any profits yesterday. I sat on the sidelines while these stocks made really big moves, and then and Dan, I'm gonna go ahead and correct you there, buddy. I'm still up $100,000 this year. I took $583 and turned it into what is right now About $950,000. $950,000. So, this is a strategy that is, it works, but you have to be willing to be aggressive. And being aggressive means you take risk. You don't turn $583 into nearly $1 million without taking risk. That's just the way it works. So, if you wanted a low risk strategy, certainly this isn't it. Day trading is not low risk. It never has been. But, for me, it's all about being aggressive. And, I've had days where I've killed it. I've had days where I've made $40,000. And then I've had days like today where I'm down 16 grand. The reality is a day like today is an in-between day. It's a red day. It's a good size red day. But it's not the worst red day of all time. It's just a red day. And this comes with the territory of taking risk and being aggressive. So, anyway, so SXTC, let's see, right here. So jumped into that, or jumped into it like right up here. First candle to make a new high. We popped up, and I could have taken profit on this. I could have easily made $4,000 of profit on it, but I didn't sell it because I was looking for a bigger move. And of course, on this one, I was looking at the daily chart. This stock is a former runner. I made about $22,000 on it, trading it in January. So it's a stock I've done well on in the past. Former runner, history making big moves with a clean daily chart. And so for me, when I looked at this, I was like, what? This one looks like one, that really has some potential. This is the type of thing that I like to try to jump on, when I can. So daily chart room from 847 with really no resistance up until $23. So, that was the back of my mind potential that, if this one started to open up, we've got a lot of room. But as you can see, big rejection here. The 1 minute pullback, first candle makes a new high and then flushes down here, and I stopped out down here at 750. So, that was obviously a disappointing start to the day. And I was like, well, now, what am I going to do? I'm down $10,000 in the first 2 minutes of the day. Should I just walk away? Should I just stop? Should I just throw in the towel and be like, I'm done? And that's something that I never really know what the right answer is on that because, when you hit your max loss in the first 2 minutes, obviously it's still very early in the day. It doesn't mean that there won't be a lot more opportunities as you get further along. But on the other hand, when you start red, sometimes it is a good idea just to go ahead and, throw in the towel. So, whatever. So SXTC, took the loss on it. It is what it is. Next trade was on CTRM. CTRM, I jumped into it. Coming out of that halt, this popped up here, as you can see right here. We got a little 1 minute pullback, and I scalped it from 1650 up to a high of 1850. I only took 1,500 shares on this and made more than $1 per share, which was a really solid trade. So happy with that. That was a nice little scalp. And then from that point on, it was pretty much watching the high day momentum scanner. So let me go back. I restarted my computer a little bit ago. So let's see. We'll go to time frame. We'll go to this morning. All right, so CTRM, yep. Okay, so SHIP pops up. Okay, so SHIP pops up, SHIP, and I looked at it and I was like, I'll give it a chance. I'll give it a chance, and I jumped in it at $6.40. So I'm in it right here as it's squeezing up. I jump in, and it squeezes up to $7.16 and is halted. All right, so, I jump into it. I'm up on 5,000 shares, about $4,000. Well, on this one, again, I had that choice. Take the profit or go for a bigger win. And on this one, I was thinking, well, given what we've seen yesterday, CTRM, Hunt, I think there's a good chance this is going to go into a second halt, and it's going to keep going. So coming out of the first halt, it dips down for a second. As it pops back up, I add at 725. Hits a high of 736, and then drops back down to 630. And my new cost basis now is 670 with 9,000 shares. So I stop out right here and end up turning a $4,000 winner into $4,000 loser because I was swinging for a home run. And this is where emotion can get the best of you. Now, I am right now kind of in somewhat uncharted territory in the fact that over the course of the last 2.5 years of trading, this is the biggest drawdown that I've had. And if I show you my, let's see, where's the liquidity? Is it that one? Hang on, I'm just pulling up TraderView here, just to give you perspective. Win-loss expectation, here it is. So, these are all my trades, fully verified. We'll do just from January 1st, 2017. So we'll filter that. So, over $1 million before commissions, but whatever. So anyways, this is where I was sitting at the end of last month. I upload all these metrics each month. So as of the end of last month, my biggest drawdown during this challenge was $24,000. All right, so that was the biggest drawdown that I'd ever had. That was on May 1st, 2018. So we go here, May 1st, 2018. That was right here. Okay, so right at that point, when I was up about $600,000 in this account, I dropped down $25,000, and that was my biggest drawdown. Now, up here, I'm down in the last week, over $40,000. I'm not exactly sure. We'll have to pull up my metrics to see where I'm at. So this is my new kind of biggest drawdown that I've ever had, or that I've had since I've started this challenge, and really kind of in my modern, career as a trader. The last 4 years, I haven't had a drawdown this big. So, I went up to $994,000, and now I've dropped down here to about 950,000 or whatever. So, this right here has been the last week. And, of course, the way I look at it, this is all I'm looking at, is that, man, you just hit 994 and now you've dropped to here. This is Tom Brady dropping the ball, at the Super Bowl. It feels like such a disappointment. All the pressure's on to cross this level right up here, and, I screwed it up, and now I'm going to have to dig myself out of this hole. And, of course, even this week, it's been like, well, I'm down 20 grand, 25 grand. I just got to stay focused, get a couple really good trades. But that's been a combination of kind of hesitating. Yesterday I hesitated on some stuff, missed some opportunities. Today I jumped aggressively on opportunities, but they didn't end up working. So it's that's the frustration. Now, when you step back and look at the bigger picture, this is where I came from just over the last 2.5 years. So all things considered, yeah, Dan, the strategy works pretty well, but it doesn't mean you won't have losses. And there's no strategy that doesn't produce some losses. I mean, that's just, if you're looking for something that's going to be right 100% of the time, go ahead and put your money in a savings account. But if you put $583 into a savings account, 2 years ago, I don't know, maybe you'd have $600 now. You might be up $15 in interest. So that's a sure thing. You won't lose money. You've got the interest, but if you don't risk it, you're not going to get it. So, that's the whole deal. And right now, being in this kind of uncharted territory of, psyching myself out, getting so close to the finish line, and then having this pullback, I really, really was hoping this week that, Monday I would jump in, have a third green day in a row. I had some great days on Thursday and Friday. Then Monday I was red. Yesterday I hesitated, didn't take any trades. Today, jumped into SXTC, and it was just the wrong one. I mean, this thing just got pummeled. And then, CREX, this was off the high day momentum scanner. Look at this thing. From a high of 371, this dropped all the way back down to 262. So this is the kind of market that we're in right now where it's a little unpredictable. It's hard to know which one's going to go and which one's not going to go. IMTE, look at this, from 11 to 15, back to 11. There's volatility, no doubt about it. And with volatility comes opportunity, but trying to swing for the fences on these, it just, I don't know, they're not sticking. Even Hunt yesterday, I mean, it did open up later, but in the morning, it went all the way up here and came all the way back down. And of course, to make things even more frustrating is not having availability of shares to short any of these stocks. So, I have my account with Centerpoint, but I guess I'm not waking up early enough and reserving the shares because people are reserving them ahead of me and I don't have shares available to borrow. So even if I wanted to short these, I can't, which is, annoying. So I can really only trade them one direction. And, at this point, it's just been, a really tough week. I mean, this has been the most difficult week that I've had, I would probably say, in my whole career as a trader. Obviously it's in the context of I'm still up on the year, and it's been, a great couple of years since I started this $583 challenge, but this has just been a really bad week. And what really I think is the mark of a good trader is being able to, being able to put that aside and adjust and get back on the horse. And so, tomorrow, what's my goal? My goal is just to be green. It's certainly not to try to make back everything I lost today. And that's very, very hard to put that out of your mind. Because you feel like, man, I lost 16 grand yesterday. Today, or, tomorrow when I see something, there's going to be a part of me instinctually that's like, if I size up on this, could this give me a $16,000 winner? It's inevitable. You can't separate yourself from those thoughts. They will happen. But what you can do is you can prevent yourself from acting on those thoughts. And so, a couple things that I've done on this account now, I went ahead and put the $2,000 max loss on it. So if I'm down more than 2 grand, I can't take another trade. And that means on a day like today, when I lose 10 grand in the first minute, I'm done for the day. Disappointing as it is, at this point, clearly would have been better if I just finished the day down 10 grand than down 16 grand. And I think I had the same thing on Monday. I've got to pull up my trade records here. On Monday, I started the day, I want to say I started down like $1,500 or 3 grand or something. And I started down 2,800. And then by the end of the day, I was down about 6 grand or 5,800. So, it was like one first trade right out of the gates was down to $2,800. And realistically, should have just thrown in the towel because the next 3 trades I just lost more money on. And that was pretty much the same today. Yeah, I made some money back on CTRM, but, my mindset was broken. My mindset on SHIP wasn't to take the $4,000. It was, you're still down $6,500 on the day. You need a $10,000 winner out of this. You know what I mean? And that's where you start to make mistakes. You stop trading the right way. You start trading based on your P&L. And actually, I'm going to do this again. I did this last week and it didn't save, or maybe I forgot to save it. So I'm going to go with 6,000 share max position size for the rest of the week, Thursday, Friday. So Thursday, Friday is not about making a lot of money. Basically, same as last week. If I can just be green, that's all I can really care about. So max position size, 6,000 shares. I'm going to take off the dollar amounts of equity up here because I don't want to even look at that tomorrow. It's not helpful. I don't need to see that. So I'm just going to go like that. And I'm going to save my layout here. I'll save it I'll save it right down here. So let's see, save the layout. Full screen layout. All right. Yep. Okay. So, it's one of those things that, the only way to rebuild is one brick at a time, one trade at a time. And that means potentially $200 to $500 a day, just to have a period of time to kind of reset. And in a lot of ways, I'm really looking forward to doing another small account challenge just because, the last few months being, having such a big account, I've been taking some really big trades, some big risks, and, I've had some big winners, but there's a lot of stress that comes with it, and I just am, kind of over it right now and looking to bring it back down. So, I think at this point, whatever, I need to finish this challenge, and if I have to go back for a little while to trading with even 2,000 and 3,000 shares just to clear the slate and just to kind of mentally reset, then that's what I'll do. And I'll just go with small size, one entry, one exit, $200, $400, $600 a day. Obviously, trading and making only $200 a day, it's going to take a really long time to, make back what I've lost in the last week. But, at the same time, what is most important is resetting mentally. Because until I've reset mentally, I'm going to keep making mistakes. And so this is Trader Boot Camp. Essentially, that's what I need to put myself into. It's the first time I've even said that out loud to myself, but at this point, that's actually what I need. This is going to be my first red month in over a year, which is, certainly disappointing. And, as of right now, I'm up only about $110,000 on the year. Talk about pathetic. It's March 27th. Well, let's look at where I was last year at this time. Last year at this time, I was up about $150,000. So I'm about $40K behind last year, and I need to make that up somewhere. But ultimately, it's easy, and you can see, it's easy for me to beat myself up. You can see how frustrated I'm getting with myself, and I'm at a level where I'm making money. Granted, not the last week, but I'm doing well this year, but it's not good enough. 4 or 5 years ago, making $200 a day, wasn't good enough, and I needed to start making $300 a day. And now making $2,000 a day isn't good enough. I need to be making $5,000 a day. So, in 3 years from now, maybe making $7,000 a day isn't good enough, and I'll be wanting to make $10,000 a day. I have no idea. I'm not sure, but just kind of, it's that mentality of a trader that you're always trying to do better, not necessarily than other people, but than yourself, and be more successful and to grow. And so this is a month where, I'm kind of doing the opposite of that. I'll say that this is no doubt a difficult, kind of stretch that I'm going through here, getting so close to crossing that finish line, only to, get a flat tire and watch, everyone pass me by. It's not even a good analogy, but, I've done this to myself. And one of the things that I am a pretty strong believer in is that things happen for a reason, both good and bad. And this isn't something that I've had to deal with in a really long time, being in a real rut, having a really kind of extended red stretch. And this is something that, for whatever reason, I needed to go through before I could finish this challenge. Whether it's so I would have a greater appreciation of the meaning of taking $583 and turning it into 100K, so I would have a greater appreciation of some of the struggles that you guys are going through who are newer to the market, to reconnect with some of the emotions that I was having 5 years ago and 10 years ago when I was first getting into trading. But for whatever reason, this is something that I needed to go through right now. And, I got to surrender to the flow. This is where I'm at right now. And I'm at the bottom of a little bit of a hole. And I have to see my way out of it and, lead by example. And I hope that, over the next couple weeks, that's exactly what happens. I start digging my way out of the hole. I'm able to reset, recharge, get focused, and kind of get back into a groove. And certainly it would help if the market holds up. The market's been a little erratic the last week. In fact, the whole month of March has been a little crazy, and this month is, no doubt been a tough month for me. So, this is just one of those challenges of being a trader. And, you got to face it. Being a warrior, a day trade warrior, is not about not having fear. It's about being able to face that fear, whether it's the fear of missing out, the fear of loss, the fear of failure. It's about being able to face that fear and keep trying. And my goal is, just always to keep trying, to keep growing. And through each one of these experiences, the drawdowns, the big losses, I've always come out on the other side a better trader. And I have no doubt that that will happen with this one as well. A lot of lessons will be learned from it. Which one's halted on T12? Hunt? H-U-N-T. Yeah, I know that one is. Is there another one? But, in any case, RBZ, that looks like it's probably halted on a circuit breaker. It's halted going up, so that looks like a circuit breaker halt. But in any case, obviously not going to trade again today. I'll just for the heck of it, just show you. This should be enabled on my account. Let me just scroll down here. Yep, so global trading locked. I'm down more than 2,000. Sorry, can't take the trade. So that's good. Starting to rein it in a little bit. Just got to be in boot camp here for a little bit. That's what I need. I need a reset. I need at least a full week just to reset. I'm just not in a place where I can trade with 9, 12, 15,000 shares and really do it in a good way. So that's all right. This is one of these things that's really important. And of course, what's interesting today is John L10's up $6,000, trading the same stocks as me, but not swinging for the fences, just taking the base hit. You know what I mean? So it's like someone trading the exact same stocks as me, following the rules of the strategy, which is to really focus on base hits, boom, is coming out on top, making $6,000. And then, I've got, my thing over here for, all these reasons with the $583 challenge, the $1 million mark, being, super aggressive and trading the same stocks, trying to make a home run, and I'm down 16 grand. So, very good job for John today. Congrats to him and to all you guys who are green today, because I know a lot of you are. There were some opportunities today, no doubt about it. IMTE, SHIP, CTRM, but if you were going for the big move, going for the home run, it did not pay off, and so that's where I made the mistake. So anyways, that's it for me. Another kind of day of struggle here in this small account challenge, but like I said, every single day during this challenge, we've done the recap. Whether it's a green day or a red day, there's opportunities for you guys to learn a lot from these trades. So, it's a good thing for you guys to be able to see it. All right, so that's it for me. I'm gonna shut it down here, and I'll be back at it first thing tomorrow morning. Trading with small size and adjusting the focus, and just really trying to put today out of my mind and focus just on, if I can do a couple $100 and have it a green day, that'll be a good Thursday. All right, so I'll see you guys all back here tomorrow morning. If you're still watching, you must have really enjoyed that video. So why not subscribe and get email alerts anytime I upload new content? Remember, when you subscribe, you become a member of the Warrior Trading family.